Josh Green here for Seconds
Mm.
Out. Delighted to be joined by the new European bantamweight champion, Mr. Charlie Edwards. How are you doing today, Charlie?
I'm all good, Josh. It's nice to be back in Portugal with my family, with my daughter. It's been a hectic week. It's been a hectic few weeks, to say the least. Obviously, leading into fight week, with all the situation with my brother, my old team, and obviously having to perform on such a big stage to millions on Channel 5. And then after that, putting the fight in, a good, tricky, tough fight, which is a fight that I needed in a very good champion in Thomas Essomba. And then after that, I flew back to Portugal to be with my family. Then duty called, and my brother got on to me and he wanted me at the press conference, which I was going to come back for anyway. But Eddie Hearn was like, I want to pay. I want to pay for your expenses. I was like, why does he want to pay for me? And then the penny dropped. I thought, yes, he wants me a part of this build up to the bloodline card, Sonny Edwards versus Galal Yafai. It's pretty clear to see that we had a big beef and build up in the last few years, 6 years of chasing that fight. So it added to the card. So I was back straight up the next morning, 5 in the morning, straight to Birmingham to do the press conference. And then I was in England for 24 hours, and then it was back to Portugal. So really, since my fight, I ain't stopped. Like, I'm knackered. I need a rest.
We'll come on to Sonny's fight with Galal in a second, but just reflecting on last Friday down at York Hall.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you'll have had time to watch it back yet, but happy with the performance, and obviously collecting that belt is a big thing.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the performance, you know. Like Thomas Essomba is a very tricky operator, although his record is his record. Like if you go through his box rec and actually look, like he only loses fights by like 1 or 2 rounds. And even then he's on the receiving end of the decision. He's been to 2 Olympic Games. You know, he's beat people that he shouldn't have beaten. He drew with Thomas Patrick Ward. Like he's a proper operator, and it's not many fighters pick to choose him. They always think, oh, he's in the who needs him club. Do you know what I mean? But he had the European title, which he won on away soil and then defended. So I was going up against a true champion, and I knew he was an awkward operator. I've seen him for years, on the circuit, international amateur circuit, and in the pro game. So it was a good fight, a good performance. I was one step ahead every way. Um, he tried to make it awkward and tricky in there, which it was all due what I thought would happen. And yeah, I outworked him, I outpointed him, and I won 8 rounds to 4. So it was a good night's work. It was a tricky fight, another southpaw, more experience added to the game. But also I had a lot of pressure, you know, going into that fight. Like my brother in the away corner brought so many more eyes to it, which everyone was expecting me on paper to win. So then I had my old team in his corner as well. I had my old gym mate Dalton Smith, and we're very good pals, shouting all the way through, trying to get him to do things against me. It was a surreal experience, but it was an experience of growth, that I'm really really happy that I ran to. You know, faith over fear, man. I felt like I needed that personal development. It's brought me and my brother closer together because we've collaborated on something. So we're closer together than we've ever been since we were kids, sharing a room together. So it's been a good journey, and one that I'm very grateful for. And I can only thank God for putting me on this path to personally grow as a person.
When you were in the ring, and you can obviously hear Sonny's voice in the opposite corner shouting to Thomas, I mean, I just can't imagine what the emotions are like in that sort of scenario. Can you explain it?
Well, Sonny, I didn't really hear Sonny's voice, to be honest with you. So I think he took the backward step. It was Dalton Smith's voice I heard.
Mm.
However, Sonny did not go in his corner, which I have to hold respect for. He sat it out, and yeah, he was his manager. He played the part with the big Don King jacket, and it was great for sports entertainment, you know. But he did respect it. It was a surreal moment though when I come out and done my ring walk, and my tune dropped, and I was getting into the zone and singing along to it because the words meant a hell of a lot to me. I look up, and my brother's standing straight in front of me, looking straight into my eyes, and I'm looking at his, and we're rapping to this song together. Do you know what I mean? And that moment for me, it makes goosebumps stand up on my skin because that moment for me was a special bond. Like I knew it was my night. That was like something like I watched it back and watched the ring walk back, and it flicks between the cameras and me and my brother. And you know that it's like something out of a movie, and it was it's a memory that's going to last for me for a lifetime, and it's a proud moment of me and Sonny. I went and stayed down his after the press conference, and we were sitting there talking about it through, laughing about it, and it's really brought us close together. And going down to the bloodline event with Sonny first Galal, I'll be in camp with him. I'm going to be sparring with him. It's brought us closer together, so we've got to be thankful for the sport of boxing. Although it can drift you apart at times, it's brought us closer within.
Yeah, I know you said previously you'd be happy to spar Galal in the lead up to that. Is that out
Yeah,
the window
that was
now?
that was all bullshit, man. That was just to like try and get a bite out of them Yafai brothers. You know what I mean? I was waiting for them to be like, no, 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 we ain't invited him. Da, 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 da. But listen, it's all fun and games. You know what I mean? Lead them down the garden path, and I'm backing my brother all the way. You know, this is bloodlines. Edwards versus Yafai. You know, when I see that on the banners and the posters and on the zone and that, like I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, that's the one that got away from me. I'm happy and over the moon for my brother because he can put the record straight. Although we're already 1-0 up, he can do it in the pros as well. So I'm always going to be a bit bitter towards KAL because he took a big, very special moment out of my career and he went out in a coward's way rather than out on his shield and passing the torch, you know. But it is what it is. I'm Team Edwards. I wouldn't go and spar Galal. It was all fun and games.
Okay. Um, Obviously you mentioned there you were invited down to the press conference down in Birmingham. How was it to not be on the table, on the press conference table? I'm sure you were expecting to be up there.
We were supposed to be up there. That's why Eddie Hearn paid for my expenses, my travel expenses. I was coming anyway, but fair play to him, stuck to his word, and he's paid them for me. A good man, because he knows how this build up should be going. Like Sonny and Galal are very respectable right now to each other. But imagine that because he wanted Sonny, Galal, me, and KAL up on the table. You know, Gamal got legged. No one cares about Gamal. He was just left on the sideline. But yeah, and it would have been a big fun build up, you know. But KAL's a coward. He showed that. He tries to hide his face and tries to like make out this situation of him dodging me for 6 years never happened. And I am gonna until I'm blue in the face keep reminding him about that because it's the one that got away from me, you know. And he needs to stand on his shield and take it like a man. You know, he wouldn't get up on the press conference table because I went up to him as soon as I see him, put my hand out, and I led him down the garden path. I was like, "Oh, you're right, KAL," and he was like, "Oh, I thought you was going to call me out today." I just whacked my arm around his neck, pulled him in, and I was like, "Don't worry, I might do yet," like that, laughing and joking. And then I took my hand off, and I was like, "Now I'll be respectful, KAL," because I was trying to get him to fall for it. Yeah, so he isn't as stupid as we think. And then he went, "Nah, nah, I don't need that. I've got, I've got, I've got a sugar mama." I was like, "Wow." I was like, "This geezer's so dumb. Why the hell is he telling me that? Like I ain't gonna go and spout my mouth off in all these interviews. Just give me ammunition." Do you know what I mean? And I already had a little trick up my sleeve anyway because I thought he wouldn't get on the press conference table. Like I thought, nah, no chance is he gonna put himself in the firing line for me. So when I come through duty free, there was behold when I walked through, I walked to the kids section, and there was a little baby teddy duck. I was like, oh, I've got to buy this for me old mate. He's getting that either way if he's not getting on the press conference table or not. So it made a big little laugh from the public that was there, and I don't think he thought I would think that far ahead. But you know, we're in the like I said, we're in the sports entertainment business. It's my duty as a brother to push my brother's fight and make it as big as possible and bring the eyes to it as possible, you know. And so be it. That's against my formal rival and foe, and someone that like irritated me for not allowing me to have my night against him. So I will always chuck this in his face. So it makes for a good storyline, I suppose.
You talked about pressure with your own fight
Yeah.
last Friday. Who do you think's under the more pressure between Galal and Sonny heading into that fight?
Do you know what I think Galal is, to be honest? Because it's in his hometown. Yeah, he's the Olympic gold medalist. Like he hasn't lost, and it's in his hometown. How are you not getting pressure put on you in your hometown? Like so, it is what it is. Yes, Sonny's probably above him. He is above him in the rankings. Ring Magazine #1, but I just feel like pressure's on Galal. Like he's trying to play it all cool and like, oh, I don't like to talk and this and that, but like he's on the press conference table. Do you know what I mean? Now he's heads in the lights. It's his biggest fight. So, are you used to this kind of pressure in your hometown? Sonny's used to it, mate. Sonny goes to America to fight Bam. Do you know what I mean? In Arizona twice. Like Sonny's been in Dubai fighting. Sonny's been traveling like all over the place. He's been in home city in Sheffield and dealt with big fight pressure. Galal hasn't had a 12-round fight.
Yeah.
You know, so I personally think Galal was more backed into the corner because this is a fight that Sonny wanted. Sonny's like, I want the big fights, I want the big nights. Galal is that, even if I don't need him right now, and I could wait on to get another world title and do it that way. Sonny's like, nah, fuck that, I want it now. Do you know what I mean? Like this could be a trilogy if it's a good fight. Let's go because Sonny's a proper fighter, but I do feel like Galal has been pushed back in the corner a little bit. They said the only way the fight weren't going to happen was because of money. So I feel like Eddie give him like, this is the fight, take it or leave it, or we're not really gonna bother with you as much. Do you know what I mean? Eddie's in that kind of ruthless mentality where he wants fighters fighting now, and it's better for the sport of boxing, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking to Sonny last week, this was before the press conference, but he wasn't of the full belief that the fight actually happens. Do you believe there's anything that could get in the way of that fight not happening?
Now it was the fight before, mate.
It
If
was
you're
a
fighting
warm-up fight.
someone who you can knock out and you can land punches on consistently, that's when you damage your hands. A little tough Mexican and you banging your hands off their head, that's how you damage your hands. So he got through that unscathed, that we know of. We don't know if he's got a little niggle from that fight. You're not going to say it, but could he? Most definitely. I think the fight will happen. However, I think it's quite unexperienced of Rob McCracken and their team and their side because he's gone through I don't know how many week camp to get him fit to fight that 3-round fight against a bum, bringing his weight down and like yeah, he going out there and stopped him, but he's done a camp. Now he has to go from one camp straight into the next camp. It's another 8 weeks away. So could you get injured? Most definitely, because you're stressed your body out that much. You brought your weight down to the actual weight limit. So where is the room for rest and recovery under your body when you're going at that intense sort of training? Now you've got to step up to 12-round spars and etc. etc. So it will be interesting. Galal is no spring chicken. He's older than me, you know, like he ain't a prospect. So he's coming into the last years of his career and he's in his peak or just going past his peak. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it was an interesting one, very interesting one. And I don't think people look at it like that because he's billed as a prospect, but he ain't no prospect. He's old. He's older than Sonny. He's 4 years older than Sonny.
Yeah.
So really, whose pressure's on? You, Galal, because if you lose, how are you bouncing back at 33 years of age or however old he is?
Want to talk about the future for yourself. You've got
Yeah.
that European title now. The world championship scene at bantamweight is pretty much dominated over in Japan. If you're going to capture one of those world titles, do you see it as something you'll have to do, as in go over to Japan and take?
I fancy a little holiday to Japan. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's when my eyes are set. I want to go to Japan, and I believe I can beat the champions out there. Highly ranked in all the governing bodies. Nissa and Keller Sauerland are working in the backgrounds as we speak to get things done. On box rec, I'm ranked number 7, I think, in the world, and five or six of them are Japanese. So it looks like that way. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the challenge. An Englishman heading out to Japan and ripping the title off a Japanese fighter, bringing it back to the UK on terrestrial TV. What a story of redemption of all the last few years that I've had. It's like it would be like a movie, mate, and it's a challenge that I'm fully confident in. I'm capable of doing. I believe that this is God's plan and this is my destiny. And right now, I'm sitting back and allowing my promotional team, Wasserman, Nissa and Keller Sauerland, to work their magic in the background and see what opportunities I get presented with. I'm in a very powerful position now, European champion, highly ranked, and I've got a big name in the lighter weight divisions. The Edwards name sings strong. I'm a former WBC undefeated world champion. I've only ever lost one fight against John Real Casemiro, who is a 3-time world champion. So I'm in the big leagues again. So yeah, I'm excited. Everything that gets put in front of me has been put in front of me by God, because I am reaping the rewards that I have sown. And it's a great place to be in. I'm in a very good spot. I'm really happy.
Yeah, good man, Charlie. Really good to hear you're happy, in a good place, and yeah, hopefully those big fights around the corner for yourself. And we look forward to Sonny's fight in late November as well.
Yeah, perfect. I can't wait. It's all systems go. The Edwards names. It's big. Feels like big time boxing again. I'm back. I'm back where I belong. It's been so long, but it's been worth it. It's made me who I am today.
Good man, Charlie. Cheers for your time.
Nice one. Thank you.